Okay, here's a quick little how-to. I'm sure most of you guys already know this. I got a broken bolt. Yeah, I could probably easily drill that out because this is pretty basic, but I figured this would be a good show and tell. So the bolt's broke off. Let's say it's in a cylinder head or whatever. So I just take a nut, usually about the same size, if not a little bit bigger, and just kind of place it over that. I'll get you guys set up here for just a second. So all I'm going to do is weld that nut on to where that broken bolt is. Now you can see it's nice and hot. That's going to aid in helping free up that bolt and that stuck piece of metal. Usually wait until it's not red and see if it'll come out. No, broke off, which is normal. Usually takes 1 or 2 times. Just depends how stubborn it wants to be. Try it again. Sometimes she'll come right out, sometimes it'll be just a little bit stubborn. But it is wiggling now. Just gonna kind of be gentle with it. And broke it off. But it was wiggling, so I'll get another one on there. Usually 3 is a charm. Not all the time, but usually. But I've done this on exhaust manifold bolts and heads, and broken bolts on axle U-joints, and you name it. This does work. It's a lot easier with bigger bolts. The little bolts that break off, they can be a pain in the butt. There's just not enough area there to grab on with the welder. But in some situations you just can't drill it. Or if it's a hardened bolt, you're never going to be able to drill it. And this is usually your best bet. Now if it's really, really rotten, yeah, it's probably not going to come out. Like an exhaust manifold, I'll weld a nut on, and I'll still take the torch and I'll heat the manifold up until it's cherry. And even then it's a 50-50 on a manifold because everything rots together. But stuff like this though, usually works pretty good. And there you go. It's out. It works better if you don't use a galvanized nut. I've found in the past. The galvanized ones usually got that, shiny coating on. This is actually a stainless nut, but a plated nut seems to weld a little better. And like I said, this is a 5/16 bolt, and I use a 3/8 nut. But 1/4 inch is probably as small as you want to go. trying to get them out. Otherwise it's a real pain in the butt to weld it. So that's it. My little tip for today. There'll be a test later, so take care, guys.